the subsequent response that we've seen from Iran on that. Is Donald Trump, in your estimation, actually in a position to be able to control what Israel is doing in this conflict?
Not completely, absolutely not. And we noticed this in the early days of the war, where the objectives and the strategies may have diverged and conflicted. They might be unified in a unilateral alliance in targeting Iran, and definitely not allowing the U.S. to consider its GCC allies in the region. However, it seems like the fundamental differences in the approach, where Trump is interested perhaps in a regime change, which opens the door and opens a leeway for the U.S. to recognize factors or factions within the existing regime in Iran today, whereas Israel is mostly interested in defeating the regime as it is, and in a much more format or form of a state destruction within Iran. They might be unified in some of the military attacks and in coordination in most of them, but it seems like there are some differences, particularly when it comes to the attack on the energy infrastructure. Now, whether the Trump's administration was aware of it or claims to not be aware of it indicates two major things. One, it doesn't want to face an international and a European accountability in allowing to include the energy infrastructure in the conflicts. It also does not It also does not want to even further deepen the mistrust that U.S. has created for itself as an ally to these GCC states.
Hamid, let's talk about the recent killings that we have seen of senior leadership members of the IRGC and also the intelligence chief for Iran's Basij paramilitary. One of the goals that had been stipulated right from the start, certainly by Benjamin Netanyahu of Israel, was that he wanted regime change, he wanted the leadership out, he wanted the people of Iran to rise up against their leaders. At the same time, there is a question, we were hearing this from Mohammed Val, our correspondent earlier on, there is a growing suggestion amongst the people of Iran that why should we be able to believe in our leadership when our military can't even protect our leaders, that they are being killed in such a fashion and apparently so significantly and straightforwardly by Israel. Is there a risk, do you think, that these killings are actually under the belief, if you like, that the Iranian people may have in their leadership and their military's ability to protect them?
These terror activities and the assassinations are not degrading the Iranian government's power, because every official has appointed at least 3 up to 5 substitutions for himself. So anyone who